All right, so we've got all the major elements for our combinator now: compression, distortion, and filtering. Now we need to look at adding some modulators. And obviously, the first one that comes to mind from Pulverizer is tremor, which is the special LFO that can do filter FM as well as amplitude modulation. So we're going to add that here in our Thor by adding LFO1 and sending that to filter 3, frequency FM. And now let's play back our drum loop. And you'll notice that there's no LFO action happening right now. And that's because LFO1 is a voice level modulator, and that means we need to trigger Thor in order to hear its effect. So the easiest way to do that is to use the step sequencer. So let's change the step sequencer to 2 steps, and let's increase the gate length of those steps to 100%. Turn the sequencer on repeat, and essentially we'll be continuously triggering a never-ending note from this LFO. So let's hear that. So it's definitely working now. So we need some controls for it, and we're running low on controls right now. We've already got these rotaries used, and we've only got one rotary left here. So instead, what I'm going to do is create another Thor. And we'll be able to use its rotaries to control the LFO. So we want LFO depth, and we want LFO speed. So now we're going to send out signals from these rotaries to the first Thor. So we'll take rotary 1, going to CV output 1, rotary 2, going to CV output 2. And we'll send those signals here. And we're all linked up. So now for the LFO depth, all we need to do is scale this by CV input 1, which is coming from here, remember. And for LFO speed, we'll take CV input 2 and send that to LFO1 rate. So now let's go back and hear what it sounds like. So that's definitely working, but actually there is a pretty low maximum rate right now. And sometimes you'll find in Reason that you'll need to actually send more than 100 to a destination in order to get a wider range. Sometimes you don't need to do that and 100 is enough. But in this case, this LFO can get much faster, and it'll actually be pushed into audio rate levels, and that's where we'll get filter FM from. So let's add a second LFO1 rate and turn it up. So I'm not too sure if that's actually the maximum yet. So I'm going to add a second line and just continue on adding to this LFO1 rate until I can't hear any more changes at the top end of this range. And that seems to be it right there. So now we have the full range of LFO1's rate all the way from 0.07 hertz to, well, I'm not sure. It's really high though. So let's listen to that. Okay, so we've got a really usable LFO there. We've got configurable depth and configurable speed. So that's certainly not going to match all the features of tremor. You'll notice in particular there is no amplitude modulation from this LFO, which is one of the interesting features in tremor. I haven't found a way to do that in the Reason environment using separate devices that sounds good enough to really add to a combinator like this. So if you can't do it really well and with good sound quality, I don't think it's worth doing.